Belief is not knowledge. It's the death of thinking. Let me explain. Did you know that belief isn't freedom? It's actually slavery. Not the kind you see in chains, but the kind you can't see. A mental prison. And most people don't even know they locked inside. Let's start with the root of the word believe. In the 1200s, it meant to be persuaded of truth. And by the 1300s, it evolved to mean this: to accept something that's true without complete demonstration. In simple terms, beliefs means to take someone's word for it without proof, which is similar to the definition of indoctrination. Indoctrination means to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. When we say uncritically, that means with a lack of criticism, which meaning that you're basically just accepting what someone gives you without doing your own research. And indoctrination is another word for brainwashing. Now, one of the positive things about belief is a code. Most people mistake their beliefs for a code, and they could be sometimes confused as being the same thing. There's nothing wrong with following a disciplined code, but it's a lot of things that are wrong with believing in something without the ability to question it. And there's a big difference between belief and knowledge. Belief is passive. It's based on trust or hearsay, while knowledge is more active. It's based on experience, evidence, and experimentation. When you believe, you surrender your mind. When you know, you own your mind. And that's the dangers with blind belief. It doesn't set you up with the proper skill set to vet things out to see if something is true or not. It replaces questions with comfort. And once you believe something, your mind stops searching. And that's exactly where the prison begins. Belief becomes a mental cage. It keeps you locked in ideas that might be lies. Lies from religion, lies from the media, lies from the school system. And they are all designed to keep you obedient, docile, and controlled. Think about it. Belief has been used to justify wars, slavery, genocide, all because someone says, believe me, and millions blindly follow. No proof, no question, just blind faith. But you don't have to stay trapped. There's a way out. You just have to ask one simple question. How do I know this is true? Not because they said so, not because you were raised that way, but because you've seen, tested, and experienced it yourself. The moment you stop believing blindly is the moment you start thinking freely. See, belief is cheap. It makes you take the easy way out. But truth has to be earned. So we live in a society where everybody wants to do lazy research. Everybody want to do a quick Google search versus doing vetted research with primary sources, with secondhand testimonies and things of that nature. So if you really want to free yourself, you have to understand how you putting yourself in a constant cycle of belief is enslaving you. See, me personally, I was in a constant state of belief, and what made me more conscious, what made me start to understand things and how was going on in this world was for me to pretty much learn the word indoctrination. Once I learned that word indoctrination, I'm like, okay, I realized that I was indoctrinated. When I learned what indoctrination is, I'm like, oh, indoctrination is another word for brainwash. You go to school, they send you to a school full of strangers. These strangers are controlling the way you think from the age of 5 years old, sometimes younger, until 18 years old, sometimes higher, if you choose to go to college. So if you're choosing to do all of that stuff, there's people controlling your brains every step of the way. When do you have time to critically think for yourself? They're just telling you to trust whatever is in this book, but they're not giving you a proper vetting mechanism for you to understand, wait, let me test this first. And a lot of people are just living their lives just off blind belief and blind faith. And that's becoming a problem in our society. It's becoming a problem with everything, right? With everything. I don't even want to speak on, 2020, but 2020 was a very good demonstration of when people just blindly believe the government. Whatever the government said, that's what the people did in an obedient fashion. It was almost scary to me. You know what I'm saying? Just blank stares. People are so mind controlled. by belief, because belief systems instill fear in you to try to discover other things. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to have a vetting mechanism for belief. And once you understand and you have that vetting mechanism for belief, then and only then can you truly free yourself. Then and only then can you have real conversations without being overly emotional because you're attached to a belief. We can have a real conversation, and based off a vetting mechanism, we can come to a sound conclusion. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say for this video. Like, subscribe, and I'll be catching y'all in another video. Peace.